Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wombat Water. I'm your host, KFC, and we are here today to talk about miniatures. This is like a very exciting topic for me. I don't know a lot about it. I know some, but I'm going to introduce our guests today. We have three people joining us. One of them brand new to Wombat Water. It's Bridget. Hi, Bridget.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited. I have all my little, no spoilers, but I have all my little friends here.
Okay. Right. And then we have star of the pod, Kiers. Hi.
Hi. I also have some knickknacks here to show off. I can't wait.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And then of course our one of our most recent guests of the Tim Beebs tier list ranking or tiers. Is it ranking? Yeah, it's a ranking, right?
It was a tier list, yeah.
Yeah, tier list. It's Steven. Hi.
Hello. Don't forget about the BTS drink. You and I have been on this food-related journey together. Are we going to do the Tim Brew, what is it, like Beebs Brew on June 6th?
Beebs Cold Brew.
Yeah, I'll do it. I don't drink coffee, but I'll review it. I'll taste it.
Why not? I'm back for a third time. Always a big fan of being here. Thanks for having me, Karen.
Well, yeah, obviously happy to have you. So, let's just start off with sort of our an introduction to miniatures. So, Bridget, I know this started all because of your passion for miniatures. Is it miniatures or is it miniatures? Can you please tell us how to say it and what they are?
I think when I'm spelling it, I say miniatures because like you always see people spelling it wrong. And so I say it in that way in my head to like spell it correctly. I think miniatures is fine. But most importantly, it's like, think of your favorite thing. And what if that thing was like really small? And that's what a miniature is. But like there's kind of this whole subculture around them. And you would think like, oh, these are toys for children. And I think one of my like things that I want to hit and drive home today is that they are not for children. Well, they can be, but like
not just for kids.
Yeah.
I mean, who pays for these? Not children. Right? So, okay, and could you tell us sort of how you got into miniatures?
The Instagram algorithm. I have a lot of slime videos and ASMR videos on my little feed, and eventually that became like, people playing with toys that are adults. And so there's like this one account, and they're not miniatures, but ASMR Playroom, and she like cuts up fake vegetables and like makes fake meals, and it's great. And that sort of led me, I think, to the miniatures and specifically the mini brands, which is kind of like sort of my wheelhouse, which is a very, I guess, corporate version, but there's definitely like a big DIY element that is like very exciting as well.
Amazing. Kiers, you have a different history. You have a long history with miniatures.
I have a complicated history. I feel like my whole adult life has been trying to avoid miniatures, and it's inescapable. But my dad was very, and still is to this day, is very into model railroads, to the point where our entire basement is a model railroad. And there's a lot in that culture, and I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, as a kid growing up in a small town, I was very embarrassed. Not gonna lie. But it was fun, and you did get to learn all about like scale is a big part of miniatures. There's like different scales, different ratios. So my dad's was HO scale model railroading, which for context, most miniatures, like the traditional miniature, is 1 to 12. So like something that is 1 inch in miniature is 1 foot in real life. vice versa. But HO scale, I'm referring to Wikipedia at this, but it's 187 scale. So it's very, very tiny. Like people are like this big, super tiny.
Wow. I didn't know that we were going to go that like deep into it within like 5 minutes of this.
There we go.
That's incredible. I had no idea it was that specific. Steven, how about you?
So I don't really have an experience with miniatures. I think I'm trying to still figure out what we can clearly define as a miniature, because the first thing that I think about when I think of miniatures are two things, actually. So I lied. It's not the first thing. It's two things jumbled into one. First is, D&D, like Dungeons and Dragons, how they have these like little miniatures. The thing that fascinates me about them, I don't play D&D, but what I do know is these miniatures, these like very tiny little monsters, are expensive. You have to shell out the dough for these things, and the people who are really invested in like Dungeons and Dragons and they're really immersed in that community will shill out all their pocket money and just burn huge holes in their pockets for these little miniatures. The second thing that I immediately think of is like, those Lego sets, like the Lego, like there's like Lego The Office, Lego Star Wars, all these like little miniature Lego play sets. I'm wondering if those would also be considered miniatures, because essentially, it's the object shrunk down to scale, and you can do some really cool things with Legos. I was a Lego kid growing up. When I'm working or doing whatever, sometimes I'll just put on like somebody constructing like the Lego Death Star or just a Lego playset in general, just in the background, because I'm just curious. It's a lot of fun, but also very expensive. So one thing I'm really interested in learning is how expensive this hobby actually is. Because I feel like depending on the ability to produce them and the interest, it could get really pricey.
Yeah, so my experience with miniatures, I played with a little bit of Playmobil when I was younger, and some of the props and little toys in Playmobil sets are tiny, so super tiny, even for kids. But my first experience was that, and also discovering miniatures, like miniature things for crafts in craft stores, and being very surprised at how something so small could be so expensive. Because a lot of these things are hand painted, because you can't just splash paint on it and then call it like precise or a miniature version of something, when it's just like it's so tiny and you have to be very, very careful with the painting. So I have limited experience, but I'm curious to learn about all of this more today. So I think one thing that we're going to do today is we're going to show and tell, because I think we all brought some sort of form of miniature, or miniature plural, miniatures today. And we'll describe it for the listeners who are experiencing this through audio only. Promise we'll do our best to explain them to you, and we'll also post a few pictures on the Wombat Water website and on our Twitter. So, Bridget, since I think maybe you might be the most into this of the four of us, tell us about what you have to show today.
So I have what's called, or I don't know, I guess they're called mini brands. That's what their marketing is always. I think it's kind of a weird name, but basically they are miniature versions of basically anything that you can find at a grocery store. There's a couple different lines. There's kind of more like drugstore toiletries type stuff. There's food and there's toys. Those are the main ones. And my favorite ones are the food ones, because they just evoke a lot of nostalgia for me. But
I love the food ones.
Yeah, so I have mostly those, and then I have some toys as well. I have like kind of a lot here, so I'm trying to decide like what. So I'll
what to showcase.
I'll do them in groups, right? So we have like some of the ones that. Oh, okay, wait. Actually, let me show, because I also have the container that they come in, which is like, I think, a big selling point for mini brands specifically. So you buy them and it comes in this little sphere, and it's like wrapped up in like a bunch of layers of plastic. You open the plastic, you open this top, and it opens up like a little chocolate orange. So there's like these little segments, and each of them has a little miniature in it. So you open them all individually. It's very fun, and I should have bought another one so I could open it now. But
Speaking of buying them, Bridget, how much do these go for retail?
The ones that I've bought, I want to say they're about $6 or $7 for one. And then if you get, they have like a specific Disney branded one, so it's like toys that you can get at the Disney store, and those ones are more expensive. And then there's like the gold exclusive ones, because obviously this is like a collectible. They want you to, you know, catch them all.
Literally, I was gonna say that looks like a Pokeball.
It does.
Right? It, like, the scale of it, I imagine that would be the size of a Pokeball
Yeah.
if they were real. I mean, they are real, obviously. But if I actually held one in my hand, it would feel and look like that. Yeah.
It looks like an experience. It's so fun.
I have to say too, it's really cool as like an adult woman walking through Target holding one of these, like going to the checkout, and like, I don't know. This is just, I feel really powerful.
Yeah, Steven, you wanted to add something?
Something that like interests me about this whole miniature craze in general is it's been going on for quite a while now. I remember seeing these like when I was in high school, but I think the like real selling point now is the packaging. Because back in the day, they just come in these little baggies, right? You just pull it out, and they still have those. They have those for everything: Super Mario, WWE, like sports, Pixar, Disney, like every single major marketable brand has miniatures now. But the ones that kind of get the most attention, as you're talking about, Bridget, are these ones that you have here. And again, I've seen the Disney ones on TikTok and how they're going for upwards of like $30 to $40 per package. And I'm just like, for these? But at the same time, it gives value. And as you mentioned, the excitement of carrying one and like opening them, and the fun that it actually has, like opening it and seeing it like it's smashed orange with portions, and the luck of the draw and the excitement of it all, and the rarity. I find that collectibles have been becoming cool recently, with Pokemon cards again, and you know, all those kind of like childhood toys. So it makes sense. And I did a bit of research here just as we were talking, and these things have been selling like hotcakes. Like a company basically said, you know what, we're going to start selling miniature like little foods, like you were talking about, Bridget, and people just keep buying them up, you included. So they're doing something right, and it's a really interesting market to just think of in general and assess why it's happening.
I have a question, Bridget. How do you, like, once you get a set of miniatures, how do you display and organize them? What do you do?
So I like, it feels like I have a lot here, but I think compared to a lot of people, I don't have that many. I've only gotten 3 of these little oranges. For me at this point, honestly, they're just like sitting out in front of my fish tank, just like chilling. But you can buy mini brand specific, like they make this and they sell it at Target, like right next to them. And you can buy like a grocery store that you have shelves and you can put them on it. And it's very, very exciting. And they also come with, oh shoot. Oh no, I do have it. Okay. They also in the orange, the sphere, usually one of the things is something that you would find at a store. So in one of them, there's like one thing that you assemble yourself basically. And one of them that I had got was a sign, and I ended up throwing it out because I was like, this is dumb. I don't want this. And then the second one I got was a shopping cart, and I like had to put it together myself. Here, I'll just show it.
That's so cool.
But yeah, so it's just delightful. And
it's very cute. I like that it has a flag as well.
Yeah, and I put like gave you a sticker to put on it as well. So it's like you kind of get to make stuff, but they're very into displaying. And that's another thing that's good, because since it's random, like luck of the draw, you sometimes do get duplicates. And so like I've gotten 2 duplicates, and I just like gave them away to friends. But now if that would have happened, that there's kind of a a benefit to that, because if you are going to like stock your little mini grocery store, like you want to be well stocked, you know, you don't want to just have like one thing of bagel bites, you want to have several. So that's how they get you.
So can you share that shopping cart again? And curious if you could describe the shopping cart.
So it's like your typical Walmart shopping cart. The base is a beautiful blue, and it has red accents with one of those. I don't know where you would get it normally, but I've only seen the flag ones in like dollar stores where they really have to see who's coming down the aisles. But it's got a delightful little flag on it with a little logo.
Never mind. I thought maybe this opened too, but it doesn't.
It does not have any child seating though, so accessibility options
That's very
don't
true.
exist.
Yeah,
I would say, yeah, scale wise, I would say it's not like perfectly to scale because like the grid of like
it's chunky.
Yeah, it's like if you put like real miniatures in there that were to scale, they would fall out.
Yeah, right. Kiwis would definitely fall out of that cart.
Absolutely, yeah. So you'd have to be careful.
Just, you know, while we're being critical as well, these wheels, they move, but they don't really roll.
Oh no.
So it's kind of, you know, if you wanted to get like your pet frog or something to push this, you'd have to kind of just.
So no wheelies.
No, unfortunately, no.
All right. So, I mean, cute, fun to look at, fun to organize and place into like a model sort of like type setting, but not functional necessarily other than serving your own happiness.
Right.
Okay. Do you have any other items that like, you know, highlights you want to show us so we can enjoy them?
Well, here, I'll get some of these like I'll get my favorite ones that are just like boxes. And I think I want to talk about scale with these too, because it's all over the dang place. But here, this is one of them. And these are literally just, I'm sorry, I have it mirrored. But
Friday's poppers.
So yeah, Steven, can you describe what you see there?
Yeah, so I believe the label says TGI Fridays. Please correct me if I'm wrong, which I believe is an American chain. I'm assuming these are jalapeno poppers.
Yes.
So it's a regular like frozen foods jalapeno poppers box. It has the jalapeno poppers on the front with the TGI Fridays logo in the top left. Except instead of an actual box, Bridget is holding it between her index finger and her thumb. That's how small the scale is. Like I'd say it's like a nose size almost, or like 2 fingertips or something like that, which is pretty impressive. And then I believe it's like maybe like a pinky finger, like in width, like pinky finger going like vertically.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that you can actually read, like I'm sure if I was there, I could read all of the writing. Like you can see how many grams are in that box.
Can you read all the nutritional info? Wow, it's all there.
One could.
One.
Could an ant?
Can ants read?
If they read English.
If ants, well, we can't confirm or deny if ants can read. That's another Wombat Water topic for another day.
Yeah, but definitely that's what I love about these ones is that even though they're very simple, like it's literally a cardboard box, like they're the attention to detail, like yeah, that's the nutrition facts.
Wow. You know what I'm impressed about? The printing, because like the print that small scale is impressive, and it's high quality. It doesn't look like pixelated. It doesn't look like the images are distorted or displaced. It looks like legitimately one for one.
Yeah, I really like these, even though they're, you know, like holding it, it's like not, it's
an empty box.
Yes. And then I have this one as well, a perennial favorite, I hope.
Bagel bites.
Oh yeah. That looks really just like very accurate.
Yeah, straight into mom's freezer.
Right. And they have on the back too, it's like, you know, the little
mom cooking.
The stock image of the people
enjoying the bagel bites. Yeah. That's amazing.
Enjoying the bagel bites, but those bagel bites are huge compared to those people. It's just really in the foreground.
Right.
All right. Do you have one more to show us?
If the box, well, okay, yeah. So, well, whatever, forget that. I want to show you all these two just because talking about scale. So like those two things were both, like frozen, like college stoner food. And then here we have two candies that are, I would say, not to scale.
Wildly inaccurate.
I feel like they're almost the size of real candy packaging.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say, when you trick or treat as a child for Halloween, like those are like the small little things that you get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could totally get a hot tamales box that's like.
So is that my question for you, Bridget? Is that a little less satisfying?
Yeah, it does dampen it a little bit, but it also is kind of just like fun and silly to me. But at the same time, if it was realistic compared to these other ones, like it would be, you wouldn't even be able to like look at it at all.
Right.
So I guess I accept it. And like, if I'm gonna create my grocery store, there will be one that has these bigger ones that's bigger scale and like bigger people like shop.
All right. So, Kirs, why don't you go ahead and show us what you have? You have a couple things, right?
I have a couple things. I brought, because my favorite mini is food. And I'm going to segue into my favorite Instagram creator is Tom Brown Creates. So like on Instagram at Tom Brown Creates. He was he's from Calgary, and he was just recently on, what was the Miniature in Show, I think was the show. And it's all about miniatures, and these people compete to like win this competition of making miniatures.
Oh, so it's like Best in Show, like the dog show movie, but about miniatures.
Exactly. And he like does his own, he like blows his own mini glasses, and like it's wild what he does. But he like basically like hosts people over to like cook little mini meals, like little mini lasagnas and stuff. And so I love food minis. So I brought a Poppin Cookin, which is a delightful Japanese box treat, which is fun to make.
So how does that work? Like, is it a toy or is it food?
So it is food, but it's miniature versions of food. So inside this box, you can make all of these wonderful afternoon tea delights, like strawberry shortcake and little Jell-O and little tarts.
So are you meant to eat it, or is it meant to dry out and you display it?
I mean, you are, like, you do buy it under the guise of eating it, but I don't know anyone who truly eats them. I feel like they're just like, you touch them enough that you don't want to eat it. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Have you made one of those before?
I have. I really like the hamburger one. There's one that you can make hamburgers and one that you can make like little mini donuts. So you can keep them forever because they're very cute. But I'm looking forward to making this. Besides food, I make my own, no real scale, but I'm slowly building a dollhouse. And this is one of my creatures that I've made out of felt. I'll take her out of the box. Her name is Harriet, and since I can't have cats of my own, this has become my cat, Harriet.
And you made that yourself?
I made that myself. I hand felt.
Extremely impressive.
So this is Harriet, and she has a bedroom set right now, but it's packed away.
Here's so Harriet's going to have a set of miniatures of their own.
Yeah, I love her.
Kiers, you should open an Etsy store.
I should. Maybe I'll do well. And then just one more miniature for fun. Because I'm from Prince Edward Island, I thought this was funny because this was in my office.
I love that.
but a miniature bobblehead Anne of Green Gables.
Love that. Oh my gosh.
Creepy, but fun.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about her, but like I love it.
Yeah, a little concerning.
What is she holding? Is she holding like a little lunch pail?
Oh, she's holding a little bag.
Oh.
Just a little purse.
She has her Sunday best hat on, her green dress.
Yeah.
And the boots. I love the boots.
And her cordial maybe stuffed in there too.
You like invented cottagecore, huh?
Oh yeah, she's definitely the OG cottagecore person.
Totally. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. I will go ahead and share what I have. So I dropped Playmobil earlier. Okay. And so Playmobil is still going strong. I had a couple sets as a child. And then when I became a speech therapist in my real life, I purchased these for my students. And this is actually part of the box, but I just cut it out because I wanted kids to really see like how you could, like they could either set it up exactly the way it was on the photo, or they could just play it with it however they wanted. But this is the whole set, okay? And I'll show you the real thing. So just to give you an idea of how tiny things can be in this thing, I'll have one of you describe it. Okay, so Steven, so I'm gonna hold this Dalmatian up to my face, and you tell me like.
Okay. Am I describing the size here, Karen?
Yeah, like describe it to the best of your ability.
The description
either
is
like compared to my thumb or like my nose or.
I would say in terms of like a side profile, it's a cheek.
It's like a cheek.
Yeah,
I think so.
It's pretty. It's about maybe 2 inches tall.
Yeah, and then the width of it again would be, I would use your like pinky finger vertically and like put it alongside it, and I would say that's about the width.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally. So this is a Dalmatian. Okay, it's about 2 inches. Okay, so now here in this set, in this veterinarian set that I have here of Playmobil, it comes with like a little cart for the vet supplies. And I'm going to open it and look how tiny the little casts are. So I'm going to hold. This is how tiny the little casts are that go on the dogs.
They'll actually slide on.
Yes, they do.
Oh my
gosh.
So it
comes with these little tiny like casts and bandages that fit on the pets when you're like taking care of them. And then this is the smallest of the small. They have these little tools that you can use. Like, look at this little knife.
Oh, so cute.
And this little syringe. Oh, I can't even. Oh,
it's like smaller than your nail almost.
It's about the size of, Operation the game.
Yeah.
It's about the size of one of those items. And it's so tiny. So super tiny that I like itemize, or I did an itemized list for like every single set of things because I still
organized.
There's like 4 surgical tools that go in this little bag. So I'll just show you one more.
That's interesting because I there's like huge like Playmobil stores. I see them everywhere, but I didn't know what the difference between that and Lego was. But clearly,
okay. So what do you think? What's the difference that you see between Lego and say like look at this Playmobil cat and guinea pig?
Well, I see them as being like more functional because I don't know many like I think Lego like. You just build everything. Like the people and the dogs are all in like little segments that you build up. Whereas this one, they're all just there.
They're all just there. This cart does roll, by the way. And the drawers work for this little veterinary cart that I have. Playmobil's so cute. So like with these little miniatures, like, you can build your own scene. And you can do like play pretend. And this is for ages like up to 10 is usually the age for Playmobil things. And they have every single theme. So that's like the kind of miniatures that I interact with on a regular basis. And I think these are made in Europe, like Playmobil's European, right?
That sounds right. I don't know where though.
Yeah. I mean, it ends with an L and not like a vowel. So just very like European. Okay. So Steven, did you got take us into this.
Yes. Okay.
Tell the listener.
So I would say the OG kind of mystery box for kind of miniatures would be the Kinder Egg. If you're an American, you may not have ever experienced a Kinder Egg. I believe they got outlawed there because children didn't know not to eat a plastic orb inside of an egg. But essentially, I think this is kind of the predecessor to these, mystery egg unboxings that are viral on YouTube and have made children like Ryan's toy review like bajillions of dollars. So what a Kinder Egg is, or a Kinder Surprise, as we call them in Canada, is it's a chocolate egg. It's milk chocolate on the outside with white chocolate on the inside. It has a seam so you can crack it open. And on the inside of the egg, there is a plastic, let's call it like a container. I keep calling it an orb because it kind of looks like an orb. And inside of that orb, as I will show here, I'm not going to eat the chocolate on the podcast, although it's tempting. Inside of here, there is a toy. And Kinder Surprise is very, very popular. I believe it's in Canada. I believe it's in Europe. And they have all these different deals with all these different companies. For example, this is a Disney-themed one. This one is a Frozen-themed Kinder Egg, but they make their own little toys like pets and animals, and sometimes you'll get like puzzle pieces or like little doohickeys that you can put together, and they'll do like some sort of task, like a drill or a spinning top or something. So there's a lot of variety with Kinder Eggs. They're very fun. I have very fond memories of getting them as a child. Equally for the miniatures, but also for the chocolate. So if you're ever in Canada or in Europe or a country that has Kinder Surprise, I highly recommend seeking them out and grabbing one.
I do want to, I don't know if I want to say if this is a correction or not, but I want to say the OG like surprise toys and miniatures, I think it must be like stuff that comes in cereal boxes. Those like cereal box prize are probably
Cracker Jack.
Yeah.
Cereal toys? Or like, is it contemporary with that?
And then as a millennial, I would say, I just Googled it to make sure I had the terminology right, but they remember the acorn capsules that you could get in vending machines, like the little bubble capsules.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like little mini keychains and little toys. Yeah, that was for a nickel or 25 cents or a dollar at some point. Yes, Bridget.
Okay, did you all have, speaking of this, I just like unlocked a hidden chamber in my brain. Did you all have in those machines, did you all have they were like homies and they were like gangsters and you collected, there was like little characters and you collected them all.
I had a huge collection of those as a child.
Homies.
I had almost all of them. I don't know why, but I sought them out everywhere I went and I had like all of them. My favorite one was like this guy, I think his name was like Willie G, and he was in like a wheelchair and he had like a hat on and glasses, and I used to play with him all the time somehow. So
I've never heard of this. I only had Trolls.
Oh, homies!
I don't know if people remember Trolls.
Also, as a wrestling fan, there used to be this anime in Japan called Kinnikuman, and they had these little miniature toys that were sold in like stores, and I'd get them all too. So I'd have my homies wrestling like these Kinnikuman wrestlers as a child. I'll drop a link to the homies in the StreamYard chat here. Maybe it can be supplemented with the podcast. Literally, they were just all these little tiny characters, and I don't even know how to explain them. They're just like they're just like neighborhood folk who are all have like really interesting characteristics. Like one in this photo here is like a karate master. One looks like a bouncer. One is playing a guitar. One just has a football jersey on, standing all cool and smug like. It looks like one's like a lifeguard or is on the beach. Like you've unlocked a memory in my mind that I completely forgot, but I'm really glad you are now because I'm going to eBay to see how much the set is.
So our friend Dan Kilby is in the chat for the stream, And he says Stan Trolls, obviously.
Yeah.
And of Green Gables. So yeah, a few of us have the Canadians in this call. Sorry,
Yes.
Bridget, we don't have one for you. I mean,
I brought one for
you brought
her,
one for
so.
Bridget, but you don't have one. Why don't the Canadians open their Kinder Surprises and we can reveal what we all got, because you get a random toy. Now, there's 2 different kinds of eggs I noticed at the store. There's a pink egg. I want to say presumably supposed to be marketed towards girls.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think it should be limited to that. But like, if you look at just conventionally speaking, if you look at the pictures that come on the box, so this is here, I'm going to show a picture of the regular box that has a helicopter truck and a dinosaur, versus the pink one, which is, I don't know, what would you describe that as?
Puppies,
Fairies,
mermaid.
pixies.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the pink egg. Okay.
Yeah. So for example, this frozen box here, as you would expect, has pink eggs.
Right. So I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like color knows no gender.
Hold on. So is it just the box is frozen, but the eggs are just?
No, the toys are.
Yeah, the toys are gonna be frozen characters.
Oh, so on the top of your box, this is the top of the box that I saw there. What's on the top of your box? Does it give you a preview of the toys that it could be?
Characters from Frozen. It's I believe that's
toys you could get.
Olaf, and I don't know what this one's name is.
The
reindeer.
Or the reindeer.
I wish I did.
Sven.
Yeah.
Sven.
What you said? Sven.
Yeah.
May I interject with some Kinder facts?
Yes, please do.
I've just Googled it casually. And Kinder Surprise eggs were invented in Italy in 1972. Kinder means children in German. Interesting that they borrowed German language to name their chocolate.
Right. They're the makers of Bueno chocolate, which is very Italian. Yeah. So they have, I mean, do you have any other facts you want to share about?
Well, let's see. Every year, 20 new figures and jigsaws and 150 assembly kits are introduced. May I just say, it was always a rip when you got a puzzle in your Kinder Surprise. At least I felt that way.
I mentioned this earlier. Anytime you get a puzzle, you just be like, this is a jip. You want a toy. That's what I was trying to explain earlier, the assembly kits. The assembly kits were always my favorite because you put all these pieces together and it would do some sort of motion or action as a toy, which I thought was really cool, especially on a miniature level. And I mean, Kinder eggs on their own are like what, $2 each. So for the production of this,
$2.50.
Inflation, so terrible. But the quality of these toys for that price is actually pretty good.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Shall we reveal what we've gotten?
Yeah, so this is my egg. This is a chocolate egg. I did drop it and it dented because I assumed that this is like very, very oily, like oily chocolate. So it didn't like break into pieces, but I'm going to open mine. Kirst, do you have yours?
I've already opened mine and I'll open Bridget's after.
Yeah, the inside has like a white, milky white chocolate, outside milk chocolate. And my cocoon, I think these are like cocoons.
I've always called them like orbs.
Yeah.
Cases. I call them case.
All right.
Sure.
Are we popping these open?
Yeah.
Okay.
I already assembled mine.
So mine looks like it has assembly required. What? I'm not sure what this is. Huh?
Okay, I'll show you what I have. I took a picture of the top of the box at the store, the box of 3, to see if I was going to get one of the same toys, but I don't think it's the same. So I have what looks like, what do you think this is, Bridget?
Looks like some kind of, what the hell is that?
It's a snail.
Oh, it is?
Well, you have to attach things to it, like wings.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
definitely some kind of bug. It kind of, for a second, it reminded me of that game, like Cooties or something. Is that what it was called?
Check it out. This is one of
It's a
the.
butterfly.
Yeah, it totally is.
So I'll
And it
share
comes with instructions on how to assemble this butterfly. So it's a miniature butterfly. And here are the instructions. Steven or Kiers, one of you.
So the first instruction is to combine 2 plastic objects together.
Okay, so I don't know what that is, and I'll figure it out while Steven presents his.
So I opened mine and I was expecting like Anna or Elsa or Olaf. As you can see, like there are all of the characters, literally all of the characters from Frozen you can get. And I was just like, what is this? Can you take a guess at what it was that came out when I was just really confused as to what it was at first?
Was it the chameleon?
It was not the chameleon. So, not the troll.
Troll would have been epic.
So, I got the unicorn. It came as like 3 translucent, like blue pieces, and they just looked like nothing. But assembling it.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So
that's like an ice sculpture.
Yeah, exactly. It's like an ice unicorn. So it came like this, like one piece like that, another piece like this. Again, for the people listening, these just look like non-descriptive pieces. Really, like you can kind of see the unicorns.
Yeah, they're like ice shards almost.
Yeah, it's all ice shards. So I was just like, I have no idea what this is, but with a little patience and putting it together, it becomes, I guess it's an ice unicorn. For the Frozen fans, please don't throw things at me. I'm sorry. But I don't know.
That's almost the fun of it, though, is like getting it open and then just not looking at the instructions and then trying to build it.
Oh, I always built Kinder Egg toys growing up without the instructions. I just wanted to figure out how to do it. It was always fun.
Ooh. Oh, Karen, the butterfly is amazing. Is it on a stump?
Yeah, so there's 2 plastic pieces that almost look like fence pieces, but you put them together to make a stump or a log. And Corey B is correcting you in the chat.
Oh, about the unicorn.
The unicorn.
What is it?
Corey B says, pretty sure it's just a horse, Steven. It's just a water. It's
a water horse.
One of the elemental spirits, obviously.
Oh, obviously. Sorry. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I should have known. It doesn't have a horn here, but I would think like Frozen to be more like majestic, so I would have thought a unicorn. But horses are majestic too, especially a water horse.
One made of water, even more so.
Karen, what is what's the material of the wings? Is it like a cardboard?
Yeah, I think it's just cardstock. And then the bottom of it is green leaves. I don't know what I guess you could flip it over to make it look like a tree. I'm not sure. But it's fun. It's cute. It's a miniature butterfly, basically.
Oh, wait, I know what it is.
What is it?
It's like when you have them down like that, it's a caterpillar. And then when you flip it over,
oh, got it. Well, okay, does anyone have this Play-Doh?
Play-Doh, yeah.
Okay, so there's for the listeners, there's on the packaging, like the tinfoil that contains a chocolate egg, and in the inside insert with the instructions, there's a plug for something called Play-Doh.
Don't steal our QR codes.
And it gives you a QR code, and it shows like on the promo, it shows kids like playing with the toy using an iPad. So I think you can like download an app where when you
the future is tech.
When you use a QR code, it lets you interact maybe with the toy somehow, like on the iPad.
I'm on it right now. Let's see.
On the other side, like near the instructions, there's a picture of like a butterfly flying out of a cell phone. And like, so I guess the butterfly can do things in the app.
Big expectations.
Oh, is it
I
like
don't know.
AR?
What's that?
Is it like AR? Like
I think it's like
cool.
I think it's like AR.
I'm gonna briefly just plug my toy. I got this cool race car, and it came disassembled. So I had to assemble it, and it came with this rubber band. So when you pinch this little yellow backing at the top, it shoots the little car, which I'll display now.
That was shocking. Right. Okay. Got it. So, and I just want to ask, Kiers, can you tell us all the languages that you can at least identify, list on, like, where do you think you can get this? In what kind of countries?
Oh my gosh. Let's see.
Like, what country is AZ?
AZ.
Is that like Azerbaijan?
I don't know.
BG, Bulgaria. CS, Czech. DA, Denmark? Is that what DA is? No, DE? I don't know. I don't know the difference between DA and DE. Is that like Danish and then Flemish? And then EL, is that, what's EL? That's Greek?
Oh, DE, isn't that German?
That's German.
Oh, yes, you're right.
Yeah.
It's German.
So it's the okay.
Like all the languages.
EL is Greek. No.
Okay. So where else can you get the Kinder Surprise? Somewhere in Spanish.
España.
Yeah.
You can get them in France. Gosh, it's hard to recognize what all of these are. Hungary.
Yeah, there's so many places where you can get this. And then KA, is that Kazakhstan? I don't know what KA is. No, what language is this? I don't know. But you can get this in so many different places. And then the last one is ET. What's that country near oh no.
Not geography.
No. Anyway, there's it.
If only we had a miniature map right now.
Yeah, if only we had a tiny
really
little map, I can tell you all the countries. But there's so many countries where you can get this product and not the US. Is my point. And then on the back, there's even more countries. It's crazy. Like, and
right.
What the warning? What are they trying to warn us about?
I'm not sure, but
they're trying to say for hygienic reasons, always empty the toy after use.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, what did you want to show us, Stephen?
Well, I'm slowly but surely getting through this play do thing. There are difficulties to the game.
So there's a game. Like it's each toy now comes with a game. So is the $2.50 worth it? Let's
find out.
Well, you have to
or
go
is it
hard.
just like
so you get to put your name, you get to pick the difficulty. Kinder has to do a little bit better there. You only have two choices.
Do you have pigtails or no pigtails?
I think pigtails is perfect.
Those are the gender options.
Yes,
you're
pigtails
presenting.
or no pigtails. And then you get to create a child.
And oh my gosh, it's like Animal Crossing.
So let's just make one for the sake of making one quickly. I want to see how we get this toy in here.
I want to know, like, does this app steal like your data? Or not your data, but like
well, I'm doing it for Wombat Water, so it's worth it.
No, but I'm just wondering if the $2.50 like.
Okay, so bring me to the scanning. So let's scan this and see what happens.
I'm so excited to know
for other miniature companies, take notes. So I'm scanning the QR code right now, and it's loading my character. And there's the horse.
Actually,
you're gonna be able to see this because
can you screenshot it? Yes,
I can screenshot it absolutely. And the horse is moving. It's like getting on its hind legs.
Oh,
and you get an outfit for your little like character
based on the toy.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I can't.
Unlockables.
And it's like in VR, you know, like Pokemon Go, where like if you have it on a certain surface. So I can't actually show you because if I turn it, it's just going to be my phone.
Right.
But if I place it on the table here where the QR code was, there it is. And you can move. Oh, you can move it. Actually, if I do this, can you?
That's so cool.
Oh, you can't, unfortunately. It disappears.
Calico Critters needs to get on this.
Yeah, this
I
is
want my Calico Critters to move.
really impressive.
Wait, do you have Calico Critters?
I have them in my closet, yeah. I want all the cats. Also,
Okay,
Bridget,
so-
you got the most adorable hippopotamus in your Kinder Egg that I got you.
What is it?
So maybe, so it doesn't do anything, but is that the point of a Kinder Surprise?
No.
But what's most interesting is the head is like hard plastic, but the body is like this squishy silicones. Oh,
Is it a water toy?
it's a water toy. You fill it with water, and it's a water gun.
So we had a water horse and a water hippo. I mean,
Water
hippos
theme
go-
for Wombat Water.
Oh my gosh. Right. So, Steven, is the $250 worth it? Compared to before when we didn't have VR.
Okay. So let's start with order of importance here. Miniature toy, which are hot items. Everybody loves them. Honestly, in hindsight, I kind of wish that I kept like a Kinder Mini collection. It would have been really cool. So check, yes. As you can tell, as Karen and myself can tell, and Bridget too, because it's Bridget's hippopotamus. The quality of these toys are actually pretty top notch. They're very fun. You get chocolate. It's delicious chocolate.
You're gonna treat and a toy.
Exactly. And then now with this app play do thing, this VR thing, I'm just like, this is next level. I like this. I really enjoy this. So for $250, I mean, we've been talking about it for like the last 15 minutes. That's worth $250 alone. So absolutely, it gets my stamp of approval. Karen, you're on mute.
That's great. Any other comments on miniatures? I feel like we can wrap this up soon.
I am just very impressed by anybody who makes them and assembles them, and I just like want to give a plug. Like, I mean, I don't follow specific accounts. I just like scroll through the gram, but like if you can find people who make their own stuff, it is so impressive to see like the ingenuity that people have, either using like 3D printers or just like, you know, popsicle sticks or, you know, like driftwood or whatever they do. It's like so impressive to see how people can like craft things and turn things into like these very highly detailed tiny things, and it's just delightful.
So true. On Bridget's point, like one of my favorite TikTok like worlds is garbage miniatures. Like people making miniatures out of garbage. Highly impressive.
I think it would be really cool to be like where your job was to decide what toys were going to go into the Kinder Egg.
Oh yeah.
I was just thinking, like, how cool would that be to be one of like the people that gets to design and decide like what
The
toys
engineers.
children, yeah, which children's toys will like bring the most joy. So I think that's really cool. Yeah, that's my main thought. Steven?
I was gonna say on the 3D printing front, I definitely have a lot of TikTok algorithm of people printing really silly miniatures, like all weirdly surrounding The Rock, like Dwayne Johnson. Like somebody made like a Rocktopus or like a dragon, except the head was The Rock, or like gold, like a 3D printed chain with The Rock's face on it. I find it basically what I'm saying is first of all, social media, I think, and TikTok and those kind of, you know, video apps in general are really driving the miniature craze. I think it's done wonders for it, because they'll even show up on my feed as well. Like I didn't know much about them, but I definitely knew about those Disney ones that Bridget was talking about, because they came up on my feed. Secondly, the creativity and ingenuity of people to continue thinking outside the box and making silly things and things that people enjoy will continue to improve and expand the market. because people, anything that you can think of can be made into a miniature now. And to anybody here who has a 3D printer or some sort of miniature making company, Karen, Bridget, Kiers, and myself are looking for miniatures of ourselves. So here I'm setting the challenge out to you now. No way, you already have one.
I have one. It was commissioned by a friend who makes little ceramics.
Oh my. Okay, that just spawned something that we didn't talk about, which is Funko Pops. Which
I did want to
those.
mention that. Right. So Funko Pops, are they miniatures or not?
I don't even know what those are.
I don't think so.
I'll get a Funko Pop for you. One sec.
I mean,
Oh my
are
God,
they just like figurines?
I should have dug mine out of the.
I think figurines are miniatures.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay, so Funko Pops, it's a big brand. It's called Funko. Any mainstream media character under the sun has a Funko now. You name it, they have it.
Anne of Green Gables?
Guarantee you there's probably a Funko. So for example, here's Grogu. Now, this is a little bobblehead Grogu. Most of them aren't bobbleheads, but the defining feature is like these big eyes and no mouth. That is the Funko brand. As a hockey fan, shout out John if you're watching. Here is a hockey player from the Tampa Bay Lightning. So you can see it has no mouth. It has very big defined eyes.
Only pupil.
Always looks like this. You can tell it has a number up here. It has the brand. So for example, when Grogu was in the box, it would say Star Wars. It's all very streamlined. And these figurines, and whether they're miniatures or not, we can discuss in a second. Depending on the rarity, just like miniatures, can go for an upend of like thousands of dollars. There's a huge driving force, and literally anything has a Funko. Like I will literally search Anne of Green Gables Funko Pop, and I bet you one will come up. Also, there are people who make custom Funko Pops. For example, Todd Herzog, the winner of Survivor China, since we're in that kind of realm, has a side business where he paints and makes Funko Pops for people. So he'll make Survivor Funko Pops for people. So people make customs. You can buy like blank templates of Funkos. It's incredible.
I want to add to, I don't know where the hell it is, but since we're talking about miniatures, and I think this is relevant, but I have Chell, who's like the protagonist of Portal, and the Chell Funko Pop has like a tiny little companion cube that goes with her. It's the cutest thing. Maybe I should like find it.
Just like Grogu here, he has a little bucket of like macaroons or something, and he's eating one.
Oh, yours is different from mine.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different Grogus. There's a Grogu eating a frog. There's a Grogu playing with one of those little like orbs that they have in The Mandalorian. There's so many different variants.
These are huge collectibles. Like I've seen people's stories with like walls just full of these Funko Pops. Funko Pops?
I mean, Wombat Waterhouse JD they have tons of Funko Pops. So many that they can't even display them all. Like I think they have a room like dedicated to Funkos. So yeah, Funko Pops are huge. I think my husband bought like a couple as investment pieces for his cousin, his little cousin.
New Beanie Baby.
Yeah, they're like the new Beanie Baby. So like, he got her like some sort of like special edition. Probably it was like Grogu or something like that. And they're huge. I don't know, like if we're talking about scale, like absolutely Funko Pops are not like to scale because they have these giant heads. But they are small. They are collectible. And they go for, I think, like what, $8 to $15 for like just a regular one, but can go upwards to like $50 to $500, $1,000. Yeah. So I think the bottom line here is these miniatures are very expensive.
Absolutely. The question that we kind of pose here, and we can discuss it and leave it as an open-ended question as well if we want. Do we consider Funkos miniatures, or where do we draw the line with miniatures?
I think some people would say that's small, so it's a miniature.
Something that I think, especially when you were showing the Playmobiles, I think there's something about whether we're talking, because like when I think of miniatures, I think of objects versus like people and animals and stuff. And I think it's interesting to think about like the distinction, because like with the Playmobiles, though people are like very blocky and like, you know, like they look like Lego people, but the items are very, you know, detailed and kind of truer to life. So I think that's there's almost like an uncanny valley type of like realism, some kind of graph that I can't picture, but it exists.
I do feel like when we think about miniatures, we want, like, I think the charm of miniatures is that it's like the real thing but small. So are Funko Pops like the real thing but small?
I think so, because so let's see, this Anna Green Gables, she did not exist in the real world. So is this a miniature? Maybe not. Maybe not. Who's to say? But this is a miniature version of me. Why is that any different than this?
So my thought now is, while miniatures are miniatures and Funkos are miniatures, miniatures is almost like a brand name now for a certain type of object that is like small enough that you can hold within your fingertips, whereas a Funko is a miniature. However, it is a larger scale. So, I mean, I don't know if there's a limit on what kind of scale would define what's a miniature and whatnot. I think we could all agree that by definition, a Funko Pop could be a miniature. But I think miniatures itself, like the ones that Bridget exhibited today, are its own brand now. And that's kind of the definition that we go with based on, you know, just recency.
I think one general rule is like you could hold the whole thing with one hand. Like, not that is the rule, but I think that if something is too big to be holding with one hand, like if it can't fit in the palm of your hand, I think it might be too big to be considered a miniature.
Tamagotchi miniature.
Yeah, I would say that's. Yeah, that Tamagotchi, that's like a miniature game, right? It's small. Yeah, for sure. It's like versus something that's like bigger, could be like handheld, but it's not miniature, you know? Okay, so this was great. This was a lot of fun. If you listen to this in audio format, I encourage you to scroll through the visual or the video version of this podcast, because these miniatures are so cute and so fun. And you know, I think that miniatures are really for everybody, and that you can collect any type of miniature you want. Like, there's so much choice. I wish that Kinder Surprise didn't necessarily, like, you know, have like a pink egg versus the other egg. Like, I just wish there's just one egg, and then it just like that was like the whole surprise. Like, it could just be anything. I think that would be more fun. Just like, I don't know, just you get what you get, and it might be, and then like plus maybe, you know, some like the franchised special editions. But I think it'd be just cool if it's just one egg, and then you could get a butterfly, you could get a truck, a car, or who knows. But yeah, that's my main feedback. Is I love the VR direction. I just had a really hard time choosing between pink and white egg today, so that's the main reason why I was like, just give me one egg, so I don't have to choose. I don't like that. Anyway, any closing thoughts before we say goodbye?
Buy some miniatures. Show them off in the Wombat Water Discord. Let's see what you got.
Yeah,
if you have Kinder eggs where you are, buy some. Show what surprises hide inside.
All right, let's say our goodbyes. Steven, do you have anything to plug?
Keep listening to Wombat Water. It's always fun being on here. Beeb's Brew comes out June 6th. I'm sure Karen and myself will be back to talk all about the wonderful world of Justin Bieber and his marketing monopoly in Canada. And we'll see how that goes.
And here's...
I will also plug the Wombat Water Discord because it's tons of fun. It's so great seeing everyone's pets and plants. And I think it's a little great community. And I really like miniatures. I can't wait to get off this call and make my miniature food that I won't eat.
And Bridget, anything to plug, whether it's miniatures related or your own social media or anything you want people to check out that you like?
There's one account that I really like, and I think they make similar things to the mini brands, and it's called Betty's Tiny World on Instagram. And I was scrolling through them today, and I had just a ball. So highly recommend everybody go follow them.
That is so cool. I love it. Miniature wise, I mean, I just think Playmobil is so cool. That's one of my favorite like miniature toy line. I like Legos too, but I just like that Playmobil gives you the freedom just to start playing right away. Social media wise, I mean, obviously, we have a catalog of Wombat Water podcasts to listen to if you haven't checked them out. I still really feel strongly about the Neopets podcast. I still feel like it's one of the best ones. It's just so fun. And anyone, even if you don't know anything about Neopets, still one of my favorite episodes we've done, as well as the coconut water original and the other water podcasts that we did with Gabby and the original crew. So please check out our past podcasts, and the tarot card podcast. Obviously, that one was really strong. Tarot part 2 is coming eventually when I get a chance to edit that. I should be able to do that soon. So thank you so much for listening. Check us out at wombatwater.com and on Twitter, Wombat Water. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.